meditation sequence, particularly dedicated to a very close friend of mine who, as I explained in the description of this video, has unfortunately reproductive cancer. Now, yoga has a lot of solutions for a lot of things. It's particularly focused on the wellness and quality of life, I believe, for everybody, and it can be accessible and shared by all with a little bit of information and sharing. So that's the point of this video. Initially, I had thought of making this just private for this person. But again, yoga is for sharing information and the betterment of mankind, womankind, everyone. So here we are. This is essentially a practice that involves 3 practices in one, or 3 techniques. It's called the Maha Bandha, or the Great Lock, and it involves throat lock, Jalandhara, the stomach lock, Uddiyana, and the perennial lock, Muladhara. So it's not the quickest thing to just jump into, so please bear with the video and go with the steps that I walk everybody through. I'm assuming, or I'm just taking the aspect of from the very beginning or beginner level. So if you want to go directly to the practice, maybe skip ahead 5 or 10 minutes on the video from here, and you can follow along from that point, whatever level you find yourself at. So we'll go over to the mat. First thing in meditation, and I've said in other videos, and I'll say it again, is to find a posture or a seating position that works for you. Because the most important thing, and one of the reasons that we do asanas in yoga, and so much, shall we say, strengthening of the body, is to maintain the spine vertical and with the good, strong breath, so the energy can run through the body, and so that everything is functioning as most optimal as possible while we're in this calm state, without any interruptions or physical discomfort. So what I do for this particular sequence is I'll use a block and a cushion to get the support underneath. I'm seated right now on my knees and the tops of my ankles. This is a thunderbolt position. We'll get to my cushion position first. The traditional pose, if you have the hips for it, or the knees, whatever the case may be, is the Siddha or Siddha Yoni pose. So this means first heel comes in just there at the very space between as far possible. For the men, just behind the testes, in between the anus and testes, and the women on the cervix, okay? It's to get the pressure on the perineal muscle there when you contract it. That's why the heel goes there. And then the other foot right in front of it, and ideally, knees are flat on the floor. When you're meditating, you have to have complete, or ultimately, the most complete contact with the ground and have a stable base. So if your knees don't quite get there, and you're happy with this position, you could put 2 cushions here. I'm just going through these very basic points so that everybody is able to practice, and this is the most accessible practice for anyone who wants to try it. So now we move on to the brick, and the way I have it set up here. This one, I took a massage cushion, a little circle from the table, just fits on top of the yoga brick. And the yoga brick you can either place horizontally underneath the base of the spine, or, well, vertically or horizontally under the base of the spine for support. And what I have done here is a gracious pose. So I take the knees, separate them. The big toes behind me are contacted, or in contact, touching. And just, it's like a bicycle seat, essentially, what I've made here. You sit back on it, and there you go. Now, Like I was saying, this is the 3 locks in one. So the first one we'll cover is the Jalahandra, the throat lock. So this one works. You have to normally, I think it's best to do the lock with retention after the exhale. So it's simply a deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and you want to shrug your shoulders up and tuck your chin in. I'm going to do this from the side just for a little bit better, perhaps in the camera. So again, inhale deep through the nose, exhale through the mouth. As you're exhaling, dropping the chin, straightening the arms, to shrug the shoulders up just like the cat pose, and bringing that abdomen in as tight as possible. You can hold or retain the breath here as long as possible. Count of 10, count of 20, whatever's good for you. And the focus, of course, is you can get a longer retention because you're blocking the carotid artery there in the neck. That's the technical part behind it. So that's the throat lock in brief, brief format. The next one is the stomach lock. Now again, this one definitely it has to be the retention after a long exhale. I'm showing you the way to do the exhale through the mouth because that's how we'll do it when we combine all three. So again, you can put your fingers in mudra on your knees here, and you just do the throat lock. So you come down, because if you do the stomach lock just by itself, it's more complicated. You do the throat lock before it lines everything up so you can just pull the stomach. This is the idea with the Uddiyana, is that you're pulling the stomach inside, and then once you have everything compressed, you take another false gulp of air to bring it up just a little bit higher, and it just brings in all the organs as tight as possible. And this creates what I call the harpsichord effect. It draws all the strings inside taut, so that then you can move and get to each thing that you want to do or have a focus on, so to speak. So again, throat lock. So inhale, exhale, chin down, shrugging the shoulders up, compress the abdomen, and here we do the Uddiyana, the stomach lock. So you just suck the stomach up, like you're doing a flip backwards inside, and then another false gulp of air, like you're gonna take an air, but you're not, just to bring up all the organs a little bit higher there in the abdomen region. Okay, that said, you have that more or less assessed and how to do. Great. The next one is the Maha Bandha, which is a perennial muscle. This one is the reason that we have some sort of contact under the base of the spine, because when you have that contact or that pressure, it's easier to focus on this muscle. What is this muscle? Well, a lot of people refer to it as the stopping the pee muscle. It's the same muscle you use if you're on the toilet and you need to just stop the stream of pee. That same clench, that is what we're working here, this perennial muscle. And you can go two ways on this. You can either do small contractions, or when you're doing the retention of breath, you can do a constant retraction, just locked as such. Either way is fine. The recommended maximum of this series or number of rounds in one morning or your daily practice is 9 times. So what I do is I do it actually 10 times with a mantra in between each one, focusing on the energy centers, the 5 energy centers through the body. And between the mantra and repeating this 5 rounds and then another 5 rounds. It's 10. I feel that it really, really, really has a very recharging, regenerative effect to the body. It's actually quite amazing. So, again, reason for the share. Yeah, just it's a positive way to take care of oneself. We do a lot of physical activities and work, but perhaps it's not the first thing you think about when you are taking care of yourself or coming up with a daily practice, the internal organs, how to make them respond accordingly in a better way and give them some attention. So this is the manner with the great lock, and I will lead the sequence now, showing adding the mantra. If you don't want to say the exact same words or you're not comfortable with it, you can always turn off the volume, just use an Om. It's basically, I say the mantra 5 times. You could do an Om 5 times. It's completely optional. But the idea is to just be focusing on each area. Lower base root, the stomach, abdomen, the heart, the throat, and then the head chakra. So these 5 main points of energy in between each retention with the Maha Bandha, I feel is the most effective way to sort of unite the benefits of the prana awareness as well as the um, actual internal movement of the organ. So let's just go with it here. We'll do the first one very slowly. So inhale, close your eyes. Exhale through the mouth, tuck the chin, lift the shoulders, lean forward, get a little bit more straightening in the arms, make sure they're completely locked, lifting up the stomach, and then the fake gulp of air. And we're going to retain our breath here. I'm talking, so I'm not doing, but you're going to retain your breath here. And at this moment, you'll now begin the perennial contractions or contraction if you just prefer to hold it there for as long as you're comfortable. Let's say a count of 10 or 20, whatever you're comfortable with. Your practice is no contest here. So just internally moving that or locking that perennial muscle to activate the energy core there at the root, base root of the spine. And then when you're finished, just coming up, inhale, long, deep breath, inhale, exhale through the mouth, shoulders relaxed, face calm. And now you can either do the mantra alongside with me at this point, or if you're practicing by yourself at another moment, the important thing is before going for another round, to just have your breath calm again. Don't just jump into the next sequence. Okay, so we'll now do it with the mantra. I'm going to do the hand mudra for each one. The first one will be prana. So it's Om. Prana is Swaha. And this is focused on the root chakra. Fingers are like this, thumb and forefinger. And I'll make an intermission at each stage just to cover the hand gesture and the wording. So again, the first mantra 5 times, chanting, is Om. Prana is Swaha. So closing our eyes. Om. Prana is Swaha. Om. Prana is Swaha. Om. Prana is Om Prana Swaha. And now the Maha Bandha, either putting the hands on the knees, or if you prefer, you can also do on the floor if you're using a brick like myself to get a little bit more deeper into the lock. So as you like. So exhale through the mouth. Inhale, coming up. Next mantra will be for the apana. So it's Om Apana Swaha, the abdominal area, stomach. And so the hand gesture will be forefinger, middle finger, the other two fingers extended, palms up on top of the knee. So 5 times. Om Apane Swaha. 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 So again, deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, throat lock, stomach lock, perineal contraction. Inhale coming up. Just recover the breath, calm breath. I'm going to take your thumb and put it on your middle finger, your ring finger, palms facing up, the other two fingers out. This mantra will be Om Samana is Swaha for the heart chakra. Focus your breathing and your energy there as you're chanting. Om Samana Swaha. 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 Again, deep inhale, exhale, chin lock, stomach lock, perineal contraction. Inhale coming up. Now the hand gesture or mudra is the thumbs on the forefinger, middle finger, ring finger. Pinky is out, palms are up. Deep inhale. The mantra this time will be for the throat chakra, Uddiyana. So, Om Uddiyana is Swaha. 5 times. Om Uddiyana is Swaha. 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 And now again, preparing with a deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Chin lock, stomach lock, perineal contraction. Inhale coming up. Recover the breath, recover the calm. Feel the energy running and coursing through the body. Nadis are opening. Chakras are energized. Now we'll do the hand mudra for the last crown chakra, which is Bhyani. So fingers all together with a thumb, palms facing up. The mantra will be Om Bhyani is Swaha. So 5 times. Om Bhyani is Swaha. 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 Again, deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, preparing for chin lock, stomach lock, perineal contraction. Inhale coming up, fingers just in a normal, just a general mudra here with the forefinger and thumb touching. What I like to do is now, normally I would say if this wasn't just a first introduction one, we would carry on for another second round of 5 mantras and 5 perennials. But I think for the first video, this is a good place to take a pause, and we'll come back and do this another day, a full sequence. From here, I like to just go to Thunderbolt, where you can take another seated position and just sort of do a balancing or harmony. Mudra hands are like this, palms on top of each other, thumbs touching, just in the lap for a few moments, a couple breaths. And once we're finished here, after having found the calm, you can continue for meditation, or you might choose after the rather invigorating and what could be seen as almost strenuous internal organ practice or activation. You might choose now Shavasana or resting pose, which is fine as well. So your choice. I'll leave you here with the words of Namaste. Thank you very much for sharing this moment, this class. I hope it's been useful, and I hope it'll help others in just wellness and well-being in life in whatever format we can accomplish with the magic of yoga. Have a great day and see you soon.